Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another very special episode of Tech Talk Halloween Edition. I am Timu, Winnie the Pooh, and with me from a galaxy far, far away, Mr. Darth Vader. Incredible.
Hang on, my cape's all messed up.
Mr. Vader, we appreciate you being with us today, taking time out from your, tromp around all the galaxies far, far away.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Obviously, I don't, but we're going to learn today.
What's your costume supposed to be?
Well, I'm Winnie the Pooh. Found this at the thrift store for $10, but who did you think I was when you showed up?
I thought you were Pikachu.
So there we go.
Impressive. Most impressive. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy.
My costume doesn't do that. Nothing. I got ears on mine. That's about it.
I think we have a few requests, don't we?
2 requests, 3 charts, 2 requests.
So let me see if I can do this through this helmet here. You ready?
Give it a shot.
All right, so this first one came at request, didn't it? CME Cheese.
It did it.
Oldie but a goodie came over on request from Goody.
Ooh.
How about that?
A friend of the show.
Good friend of the show. We've had him on before. Yeah, CME Cheese. All of a sudden, we're back on this low end here. I don't know. What do you think? I didn't move any of this stuff from last time we looked at it. We had this little Paparuski here up to 205 and then back down to potentially fill in this gap down here. What do you think?
I think it's going to happen. We were looking at a couple other charts. It seems like next week by about the 8th to the 10th of November is when we really start falling off the cliff here for Class 3 and cheese. And that is next week. What do we got? Thursday, Friday-ish time frame. So I think we get a quick rally, probably up to that $2 mark. Then like you have here, the Head and Shoulders probably plays out. And maybe a quick trip to $1.65 down there at your gap.
Yikes. Let's take a quick peek ski at that. You know what? Let's just add another line, shall we?
Let's add one more.
Let's just
there you go.
Pop one more in there. So that's about 167, 166.
Yep.
So the interesting thing about all this is that the futures market is certainly not saying that that's what's going to happen. All right, we just took a quick look at futures and we're just back above like $1.90-ish, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, that's interesting, right? And so what do we start the new month here? Friday, right?
Correct.
Thursday's Halloween. Friday's the new month. You're going to have potentially some previous month buying that shows up. Folks that want to own based on October's price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was this big, obviously, break between September and October. Does that bring in some new buying that shows up at the beginning of the month that kind of gives us a little popper and cheese? It feels like that's the case. Futures are starting to tell us that.
Well, and that's why I think you get that quick little run up higher, maybe even into next week or the week following. But it seems like around that 8th to 10th of November is when we really get everything bought. I think for the holiday demand is pretty well behind us at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We start really creeping our way lower. And I mean, I hate to say it, but to get exports out, probably best case scenario is going to be $1.67 to fill that gap. Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think you got to be mindful of this high right here, 205, right? Futures are starting to tell us that we've got some more strength here in cash, potentially kind of brewing, right? November is on its 3rd week of pricing and it's bumping up against $2, even with today's price action.
Right.
So November is certainly acting like, if you believe we already have a few weeks baked in, call it like low $20. Check out Bases Loaded, by the way, with our good friend Joe to learn more about that. But yeah, no, it's acting like you're going to have at least some more strength in the cash market to justify like current levels, right? It doesn't have to be much too. That's the other thing. It doesn't have to be a lot.
Right.
So taking us back to 205, especially when you think about how much the barrel is broken, right? I mean, just you're talking about a very small retracement, barely anything. So
yeah.
It definitely feels like it's in the cards.
I mean, 12 cents higher from here and we're at $2. I think that could be done in a very short amount of time, to your point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so sorry, I had to breathe a little. Next chart, also at request from our good friend Joe.
Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe. No Beast Class 3 future spread. The chart itself is taking the November price minus the December price and charting that price action on a day-to-day basis, in this case, a daily. So when we see positive 35, that means November is trading 35 points premium to the December. Any thoughts on this chart here?
Well, it looks like we rounded out last week down there, negative 18, flat, kind of. I mean, both of them were pretty much trading at $20 getting into Friday, and today we've got December sub $20 a little bit. I don't know. It looks like the chart kind of wants to work its way back to $1.
So when I asked Joe where he felt like this was going to go, he said 110. So how about that?
There you go. 110 meaning, to your point, November $1.10 priced above December Class 3.
Yes, sir.
All righty.
First of all, let's go throw that price out there. You said $1, 110. We'll split it, 105.
Okay.
And what's interesting is that is basically smack dab in the middle of all this noise, right? Between, what is it, 64 and 1.5?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would agree. I mean, it seems like when it crossed this threshold right here, it really started to break. And so that price unto itself becomes somewhat of a magnet, right? And getting back to $1 doesn't even mean testing this former like failure to make a new high. So you're getting back into all this consolidation. So I agree. I mean, and the momentum is starting to shift, right? Here's the momentum. It looks like it's about to cross zero. If it does, that's a surefire sign that thing can go trade $1. And if it were to go trade $1, so that means November would continue to gain on December. But that also points to our theory that cheese has a run at back above $2. Right. Because if we're going to run it above $2 now during November's pricing, it's likely to impact November the most. Likely.
Correct.
Right. I mean, who knows?
Correct. So in this instance, for trading the Nov-D spread, you would want to be long November, short December.
If you felt like this was going to go back to $1, that's correct. You would be buying the November, selling the December simultaneously at a ratio of 1-to-1.
Don't make me destroy you.
Well, let's hope this chart does not destroy us.
But that's it. I mean, like this. I think this chart is a nice little like supplement to what we just looked at on the cheese basis.
Yeah.
Right.
Putting some legs behind what we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's. I think it actually helps confirm, because what we're seeing out of the futures market is telling of what the cheese market, what our theory is about the cheese market.
Right.
We feel like cheese is going up. The Nov-D spread is certainly acting like cheese is going up today or now or something like that. What time is it? 10? A little after 10. So we got another hour before the cash market here today.
Right.
We'll see. So this last one, you wanted to look at this one.
Yeah. Let's take a look at March corn.
Winnie the Pooh, Pikachu. He's interested not in honey. He wants to look at March corn.
Man, I mean, when I was looking at this earlier, I thought we were going to make a little bit of a W here in March. We got up to 450, back down to 415, kind of getting back to 50% there. And I thought we would have had a little bit more of a break to the lower side, back to 415, and we still could. I mean, I guess we haven't quite engulfed yesterday's trade completely. We tried this morning, but failed so far, and it is 10 o'clock Central Time. So there's a little bit more trading to go in the day, but it just kind of looked like a long-term W is taking a little bit of formation here in March corn.
I would agree. And what's interesting about this kind of like price point is that when I think about like, I was drawing these while you were chatting there.
Yep.
This like 415, 420 area, the market more or less started to break out here, right, from that price. Tried to get back below it, failed. Kind of took a stab at it here, not quite, failed. Definitely tried to get through here again and failed, right? So this 415, 420 area, it's a price where the market seems to want to at least find support for the time being. Said, it's kind of like your area. Like you said, you're looking to own it, sounds like?
Well, yeah, I would say taking a stab at owning some, and I think, like we talked about last week, if you tried it here, you know you're wrong at 415, 10 cents away, right?
Yeah, you know where you're wrong. I mean, if it closes back below this low, what is this low right here? 414. This low right here is basically 416. If you get below that price and close there, I think that it's, now you're talking about getting back down to this like darn near $4, right? And so your risk reward, it's, I guess the question is, what's the potential reward? What do you feel like the reward is? If you own corn today, you know where your risk is, down to like a 415, so it's about a dime.
Yeah.
What do you feel like the reward potential is here?
I think the reward potential is going back to 450, right? That high that we had saw beginning of the month. I mean, I don't know with everything going on harvest-wise if you're going to get much of a rally up to $5, but just being protected from here up to 450 going into the end of the year,
right,
is where I'd see the reward coming out.
And really, too, let's just take a little gander, if you will. 4 double, right?
Wow.
So 455, 4 double nickel. That's basically 50% retracement of this big move. So, yeah, I mean, that's a significant retracement, don't get me wrong. But it's still, we've seen it plenty of times where the market has retraced a third to a half of a significant move.
Yeah.
So to your point about like the risk reward, you've had this substantial break already. So you're expecting that you're going to meet with new selling below, after we've had this big break. It seems like there's likely been some profit taking that's taken place, right?
Correct.
And now you're are we going to find new selling sub like 415, 410? That's the question.
Right.
Conversely, is there room for the market to see more of a retracement? I would agree with you. I think 450 is definitely in the cards. And it's kind of like that. What would that be? You could theoretically bake 25 cents risking a dime. So it's a 2.5 to 1 shot.
Right.
That to me seems like a good trade.
Join
Exactly.
and together we can rule the galaxy.
With trades like that, I don't know how you can rule the galaxy.
That I hear you. And
March corner.
if you wanted to add on to longs, and let's say we get down to that low of 402, do you think you would add some more long positions at that point also?
Well, I think so. If we're just talking about it from like a trade perspective, right? You probably would have punted once we got below 415, right? So now you're flat. So taking another shot, being long at that price, you start to see some consolidation around that $4. Sure. Like at that point, again, your risk is that we go into new contract lows, which wouldn't be that far away at that point, 3-4 cents or something like that. So yeah, I think you kind of run into that no man's lane between 415 and $4 and see how it goes. So yeah, you take the loss and then you're just going to sit on your hands until you get there. If that's how it plays out, who knows?
I love it.
With my luck, what's the expression? If I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck. With my luck, he'd go into like 412, settle, and then properly back to 4/4. And you hoped you didn't. That would have been it. If anything's going to make me go to the dark side, it's that.
Corn usually does. All
right.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Vader, you got big plans for this Thursday? You going to go around ruling the galaxy over there in the hometown? What do you got happening?
We'll see.
That's fair enough. We greatly appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come hang out with us, talk charts, let the people know what you're seeing. It's greatly appreciated. We want to give a big shout out to Adam. Big shout out to Joe for calling in with their requests. We hope everyone has a great what is it?
It's Halloween.
I was jumping there. Has a great Halloween this Thursday. Get lots of candy.
Know the power of the dark side.
Well, and with that, everyone, have a great holiday. We'll see you next week.
I will say, though, I do appreciate you wanting to be a part of Thanksgiving because most people skip from Halloween straight to Christmas.
I know.
And they forget about Thanksgiving.
You got to give turkey its respect, right? Because we just jump right in between it.
Right into Thanksgiving. It's like Hallmark movies go from like fall, whatever.